Hey, good morning, afternoon, and good evening, whatever time you're listening to this. It is early morning for us.
It's still dark out here.
Yes, it's still dark out, but we're committed to it. This just shows the level of commitment that these boys bring to the game every single episode. Welcome to the Unlocked Podcast. We are three business owners from across the entire globe, and we are settled currently in Austin, Texas for a conference. But we are focused on sharing our experiences on growing locksmith and security businesses, the things that have worked, the things that haven't worked, the things that we're actively trying and working on in our businesses every single day. So this is an opportunity for you to sit in on a conversation that business owners are having on a regular basis around trying to get better at their businesses. I am Chad Lingefeld from LockDoc Security in Charlotte, North Carolina. The gentleman to my right is from the northern
Canada
part of the world.
It's, I've heard of America's hat.
Yeah, that's the first time I heard that. I kind of like that.
I have a different reference for the America.
I'm sure you do, but we'd like
Lars
to.
Johnson from Canada. I know, it's this whole Apple explicit rating is my problem. I am from Calgary, Alberta with Calgary Lock and Safe. And this, my little buddy beside me here.
I am Tony Hokinson, and I am with Assured Security in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Very cool. So we are again, this is the third episode that we're recording in Austin, Texas for the Cloud Security Summit.
Episode 57?
I think you got that right.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, it's somewhere in that number. And we are, we've had a full day of conference. We're getting ready to start our second day. So this is recording before that. I wanted to kind of broach the topic because we started, I guess, in the evening a day and a half ago with conversations. And I have found it interesting because there's been general sessions, breakout sessions, and then around the table conversations. So it's been a lot of chatting, and they've had a solutions lab, so lots of experiences. My question for you guys, based off of all of the exposure that you've had in those general sessions, breakouts, and around the table conversation, solutions lab, what things are that you're already seeing that you would we're jumping right into this like really fast.
You were going to, and then I was going to point out
that we won in golf a couple of days ago.
That's
I did forget about that.
That was not on my radar, but it was golf related. The last time the three of us were together and it was still that dark outside.
Tony had booked us a tea time.
That was in Canada, wasn't it?
No, that was in Florida.
That was in Florida.
Really close, but
well.
And we were, all three of us have never been in Canada.
Yeah,
well, that's
we went
not
to
a fact.
Toronto.
Yeah,
That's
we
true.
did go to Toronto.
But we played Florida with Ann Gruber one morning.
And we had to turn the flashlights on our phones so that we could
Find
hit a ball.
anything.
Yeah.
It wasn't like kind of dark. The sun was rising. The sun was still going down, I think, the night before.
it was hard to believe when we got there that we were going to play golf in 30 minutes. And
Yeah, that was, but, I mean, today's completely different.
Yeah.
We're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I mean...
I'm not bright-eyed. My sleep score was like 52 last night.
Is it because you had 3 or 4 dinners last night?
Yes.
Is that the problem?
I'm extremely angry with Tony because he was a bad influence on me.
Spicy pepperoni pizza at about 11:30 last night.
that was good.
It was. And the world's saltiest fries.
Yes. Dude, man, I woke up in the middle of the night just...
Oh.
I drank a bottle of water at 2 o'clock in the morning. They were so salty.
Yes, and the Blue Jays just won game 5.
When's the last time Canada won a...
1992.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Well, it was the Blue Jays given that.
Yeah, well, it could have been the Expos.
Yes, so hopefully by the time you're listening to this, the Blue Jays are World Series champions, or there'll be a bunch of really disappointed Canadians.
Yeah.
Is that just a normal Thursday?
That's rude. And that's a good reminder that we have this stupid noisemaker that Chad has. That's a nice addition to the podcast. I like that. It's unfortunate that you're the only one that has it.
Yeah, it is a bit troublesome.
One day maybe. Well,
maybe in our second year.
when we
or
get up
third
to,
year.
when we get up to 10 listeners, maybe all the revenue that's running in
if
from
anyone's listening that has a hookup for a sponsorship for a noise beeper maker thingy, I'd like one. I'll customize a tune.
I noticed something funny yesterday. Your name tag says Lars Johnston, Smart MF.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's like if you didn't know, you would just think you called yourself a Smart MF.
Yeah.
And then you realize it says CEO, and then you're like, what is going on with this guy?
That's the name of the company, Smart Multifamily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do multifamily developments, new and retrofit in the Calgary and Edmonton areas.
Oh.
Yeah, we're actually in Winnipeg. And
Good for you.
yeah, Smart MF, multifamily.
Really fits your brand.
We're going to have to send you an invoice for that sponsorship.
Yes.
So the thing you wanted to mention was it's dark outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
The context was a little more riveting than that. But if you want to dive, you want to get in here, Chad, why don't you enlighten us? Start us off here. Tony, I swear to God, if you keep playing with this cord.
No, I'm actually only
this
doing it
little
because I saw him
noisemaker
getting...
that we have has cords that connect all the microphones together. It is the biggest challenge of this podcast is between these two fumbling around with this cord. Chad's has to be perfectly coiled, and Tony's, I don't know, he just has to fidget. So if you two would please just stop it.
Yeah,
I would like.
We'll work
it's
on
a
it.
professional podcast.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's wrong one. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, let's get into it.
All
so we've sat around, we've listened, we've chatted, we've had lots of conversations with other business owners.
Yes, sir.
That are in our same space in similar markets, different markets. And we're all sharing ideas, and we're also getting ideas from manufacturers and integrators and partners and all this.
Yeah.
So right now, what are your thoughts on when you walk back in, and maybe you've already texted or emailed in a couple of things. I know I've got a few action items that we've already started talking about, but what are the things that you're looking at to change your business strategy, implement on a business strategy, or double down on in your business strategy when you get back?
I think a handful of things. One of them is just simplicity. From an operations standpoint and also a sales standpoint. Brevo was stressing that a lot yesterday on stage with just a unified platform, making everything simple for the customer, removing friction points.
Yep.
The easier you can make it to use their product, the easier it is to sell the product. So, and I think that extends on, that's a selling point for us using simple products. We make it easy for the customer, but also making sure that when we're delivering that product, we're making it as simple as possible. We even talked about that yesterday or last week on our podcast of just doing whatever you can to simplify the purchasing process and remove barriers and complexity.
Yeah, and staying customer focused. That's, I think, the whole conversation of the last podcast we had, and I would agree. It was a good reminder, and Brevo's taking the product aspect of it. I did appreciate, they did mention that the customer portal, their customer portal, is a little janky. There's a few things that need to work on, and makes you reflect on your own interactions with customers. What do they have to go through? Do they have to print off a PDF and sign it, and then scan it, and then send it back, and then call for a deposit? All of this crap is that. Is that really it? So, and if it is, that friction is going to lose you customers.
Yeah, and they talked about their unified platform, and we've tried to go to market with our selling proposition of where you can be your one-stop shop commercial security provider for all your aftermarket security needs. And it
really rolls off the tongue, that slogan.
I just made that up on the fly. Workshopping that one. But yeah, it made me think about that and how that is really a good value proposition to lean into, and we've known that for a while. But
100%, yeah.
Just leveraging that and making sure that we're doing whatever we can to simplify things for our customers and get that word out there that you don't need to have 7 points or 7 people to talk to. You can talk to us, and we will handle it all.
The vendor management side of it. That's what they referred to it as. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really what they're doing with all their products, and is having a platform that you can integrate a whole suite of products. We were in the products lab last night, and there was everything from a parking solution to a vape sensor,
Right.
to AI detection, and all sorts of products that integrate with Brevo and Eagle Eye. That again, Brevo and Eagle Eye have come resellers for,
Right.
And created this platform for simplicity, essentially. So.
Yeah, the unified vendor is an interesting concept of trying to reduce the complexity of our customers and say, hey, we can do it all to the benefit of them, that they only have one neck to squeeze, so to speak. So yeah, that was interesting. Chad, you're eyeballing me here. What have you seen?
Oh, I was waiting on you to go next.
Oh, let me have a look here.
So I'll say the big thing that I took away yesterday is I think that as a business strategy, we have room to improve on the depth at which we work with our customers. So, one of the things that stuck out to me, some of the video capabilities that are continuing to improve and that are on the horizon for coming out for analytics or AI implementation. There are a lot of subset categories that will be beneficial for. And I was talking with one of our account managers yesterday, and I said, first thing we need to do when we get back is get all of the accounts that we have on camera and categorize them by the customer type so that we can start to share those new features that would be applicable. Because I think if we were to look at it, we probably have 6 different customer types they're going to fall into those categories. And if we could almost package some of those features together and say, here are the things that are working for other properties that are similar to yours. They were talking about gun detection, and they were talking about LPR, license plate recognition. They were talking about distracted individuals, things like that. Shoplifting. Yeah. I think that was one that really triggered a thought. Is how many locations do we have cameras on shopping centers or in retail applications? And those literally could go in and say, hey, did you know that this was there? Or this is something that you should look at. Maybe we turn it on as a promo for them to try it out. And by knowing the categories of the customers that have cameras. So that I think we have done a good job in our organization of categorizing customers, but I don't think we have done a good job subsetting that into the different access control cameras. I don't think that we really organize those customers well, and so we could probably serve them better to their needs.
Go deeper.
Steve talked about yesterday on stage how you have to think of yourself as a software company instead of a hardware company. I think too often we think, oh, we're going to go put this thing in your building, and then it's going to work, and we're going to move on and put another thing in another building. When in reality, that device we're putting in the building is a device that allows us to help them more with different feature sets and different integrations. And there's so many. I think we're just on the surface of what we can actually help our customers with once we're in there. And that's a really good point.
Yeah, I'm relative to you guys and relative to most people here, I'm pretty new to this space. And one of my first realizations was because coming from a locksmithing background, a company that provides locksmith services as a background, access control, and that's, fob systems. I think most people will know what that is, but those are more natural to me. It seems pretty straightforward. I mean, you have to understand a little bit how the controllers work, the brains that make everything work, and how it connects to the cloud. But that isn't a big stretch from our common devices. Cameras are a little different. We start getting into, there's 50,000 different versions of cameras and different 2 megapixels, 4, 8, 16, 1,000. There's a whole variety. But there's also a lot of cool features that the cameras can do. And I think this just further, 2 things, Chad.
Ooh, 2 things.
2 things. One, that I think we're going about this backwards and selling access control and adding on cameras, when I think we should be selling cameras and adding on access control, because the cameras are so easy to sell because they're cool. So that was that was the first thing. The second thing was reframing the context and the conversation about cameras. Cameras are no longer about security. I don't think that's driving. Maybe for the big corporate environments, it is, but it's less about security. And I'm really interested about how we can package the data that they can provide. Like if I can go into a retail customer and say, okay, this camera will tell you how long it is on average people wait in line to get to the till to pay. This cashier takes this long on average. We can. People come in your store and they turn right and they go this direction and then they stop here, and on average this is the spot they loiter / look at product the most, so you probably want to put all the business data we can put together for them because of these security cameras is just it's a whole other world for me. It brings so much value to the customer.
I remember I just to kind of throw a date on it, probably 7 years ago. Alarm.com. I was having a conversation with a guy. He was trying to sell this Alarm.com product. And the thing that he kept coming back to was, we can provide business analytics. And it was the first time that I had heard somebody trying to reposition a security product as a business analytic tool. And that's I love that concept. And I would kind of maybe add to it a little bit of, how do we, and Tony was just talking about it, Steve Van Til had mentioned it yesterday, we are terrible at selling software as an industry because that's not our
right. We're also bad at selling cars.
Correct. But if we can continue to grow in learning how to sell software. So and what I think he was saying by that, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but the way I heard it was, we have to get better at selling, understanding what customers' challenges are and selling into their challenges, solutions to their challenges. Yeah. And so that's business analytics. How long does a customer wait in line? That's theft issues. That's what time are employees showing up? Are they showing up on time? And if you can go in to a business and say, are you having issues with employee attendance? Are you having issues with rooms being occupied when they're not supposed to? If you start to go into those like functional facility challenges and then say we can solve those problems, I think the sales approach that we typically go into is, we can put in a key card system, and you need a key card system, and here's all the widgets that you need. But why do they need it?
Right. Or we say, hey, what security challenges do you have? Instead of that, it's just, what business challenges do you have? What operational challenges do you have? And using them as an operational tool. And it's more of I think traditionally, security companies, we think of cameras as a reactive tool, right? We've told customers that you're going to see this after the fact, right? But I think now with the cameras being in the cloud and the analytics around it, you can actually use it as a proactive or in the moment tool that provides you alerts. From a security standpoint, but also, like you said, operationally, what is going on in your building? If all of a sudden, you could probably use it to set up, if you have a retail counter that's unmanned, it gives you a notification when someone's there, and
especially
you walk
with the
out
automations that they have a simple little input-output board that they've put together. You can tie in with the bridge or the VMS, and it'll, if this happens, do this. So if there's somebody waiting at the counter, send a text message to the manager.
Correct.
If there isn't somebody there. And that's pretty cool for, it adds so much more value rather than like, I have to spend money on security.
Correct.
To, this is an investment that's going to make me money or save me money or at least solve my problems.
Right, exactly. People think of it as a necessity as opposed to an opportunity.
And I think one of the guys yesterday was presenting and opened up some of my my thought as well around, again, additional things that cameras can do. And I think we use them intuitively as humans with our phones, and we probably don't think about it as much. Magnifying glass, using it to scan something to get us more information. And so, but when we go to sell security cameras, we sell it as this fixed device that just sits there and watches things. And he was talking about, cameras can do so much more now. The only things that they can't do is maybe detect smoke or vape, right? because it can't detect smell, but it can capture so many other factors, and then how you can report on those things to notifications like you're talking about. And again, it's really how we reposition the conversation in our business. So my takeaway from that is, how do we get back, when we get back in our business, how do we start to shift our mindset as from a sales perspective or account manager's perspective to asking the questions of the business challenges? Even more so, how do we go in there and understand these typical industries will have these 5 challenges? Like, they probably all have similar ones, right? How do you go in and start asking questions around that, instead of going in and saying, when's the last time you updated your security cameras? Asking, how often do you have this issue or this issue?
Well, and like you said, there's an opportunity after the fact or with our existing customers to go in there from an account management perspective and say, how are you using our system? Have you thought of these things? And really looking at the customer utilization and make sure that they're not just with cameras, but using all the other suite of products that integrates with the cameras or integrates with the access. That's a good one.
Yeah. A little different direction, but still Eagle Eye centric. And Eagle Eye is the camera company that is one of the hosts of this summit. But they released what I'm cautiously optimistic, but they've talked about Eva. Right? Eva is EEVA, the Eagle Eye Visual Assistant.
Yeah.
Or Agent, sorry. Eagle Eye Visual Agent. And it's their AI agent that is going to be open to us to write our own agents. And I mean, I keep saying the word agent, but effectively it's a specific AI function is what an agent is. So an agent would specifically look at, you would teach them how to, read the address on a house or something like that. Okay. But what the possibilities are now is being able to, use a camera, tell it in common natural language. Hi, Eva, I'm looking to figure out how many bracelets Chad has on his wrist, right? And then the camera would pick that up and it would report back and say, okay, I think, he has 3, there's a picture of that, and okay, that's not quite right. But you can fine tune it.
Yeah.
But all the things that, like I was just talking about, I want to know how many people are in my store, how many people are returning customers, how many people are, how long do they stay in our store on average?
Yeah.
And all these things that you can actually write agents to pay attention to these kind of things. And, on the flip side, I was looking at it for Eagle Eye. It's like, this is brilliant. They're letting us build their platform for them because they're going to retain all of these agents that we're building. And it's going to give them this whole huge AI platform that they can resell to a whole bunch of people.
And if you think about that from a customer standpoint, from a business improvement, all right. So one thing you just described is like facial recognition for return customers. So what if, like, I'm trying to think, there's a coffee shop that you go to regularly every Thursday morning or something like that. And if they had a facial recognition that said, hey, send me a text message whenever Lars shows up. So you get out of your car in the parking lot and the owner of the coffee shop is in the back doing whatever, but he comes out and says, hey, Lars, it's good to see you. How much does that change that business relationship? Because he's identified that.
Here's your latte.
Correct. Like
it personalizes it.
Personalizes
it really allows you to build that bond with the customer, right? All of the possibilities of this.
Yes.
It's quite incredible.
There's a lot of retail applications, I feel like, and I'm trying to like shift that over into other businesses as well. But I know a guy that runs a pretty large retail outfit, and it would be very difficult from where he's at in the facility to know every customer that shows up in the door because it's large. You know, think just a large shopping center type thing, and if he's got return customers that come in there regularly and are very good customers. personalizing that experience for them would be like, even if it's text messaging the guy on the floor and saying, Mrs. Jones just showed up.
Have it pop up on a TV as they walk in. Good morning, Chad.
Yeah.
Like welcome, Chad. Welcome back, Chad. Something like that. You could absolutely program and if then that.
Yeah. And so utilizing those tools for, and that's, I like this, the thought there is, how do we get it out of protecting against theft, break-ins?
Oh, by the way, it also helps to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're focusing on.
Yeah.
And
because reason I say that is, a lot of times people go, we've never had a break-in. So, people are going to respond. They're going to want cameras, more security, all these types of things when they've had something bad happen. But if somebody has never been in a situation where they've had bad things happen on a consistent basis, then they just go, like we're pretty good. Everybody's pretty chill, whatever. And they don't see a need for it. Well, how do you turn that into a church situation where it makes it easier for them to do occupancy counts? Just all sorts of things can be improved drastically with that visual detection.
Yeah, possibilities are pretty incredible, Tony. I see you're going through the notes here. So Tony takes notes on his phone during the conferences, and takes the time to write them out.
I didn't have my notebook yesterday when we recorded the podcast.
To write them out into a paper notebook from his digital phone.
This is what he does. He just makes stuff up.
Paper
just
notebook.
has no idea what he's talking about.
We did see you writing notes from your phone onto your notebook.
Correct. Yes, I did not have the notebook yesterday evening when we did our podcast. And believe it or not, I even got some takeaways from our own podcast.
So
I was putting them into
do you
my
have anything
notebook.
in your digital phone or your paper notepad there that you'd like to share? Anything that you're thinking should make its way back to?
I was trying to figure that out.
Okay.
While he's looking at that, I'll share the story I shared at dinner last night.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I taught a class yesterday on hiring and retaining employees. And Tony was sitting in the back of the class, and he was sitting next to a gentleman that is one of our regional reps. And he said, he looked over, and Tony was writing down notes while I was talking. And he said, Tony, do you not talk to this guy like every day? What in the world are you learning from this conversation?
So that is actually one of my takeaways. I was going to give you some kudos. I took this class on hiring and retaining technicians, and talked to you about that a handful of times. And the instructor was actually pretty good. He kept me engaged. But you said some things in that were pretty interesting. We try to do a good job of building a good culture, but we've never had a way to measure that. And it made me think that we really should, because I think we do a pretty good job of this. And it's something we could celebrate, measuring employee turnover, measuring how we're doing with that. And I think it's something that you think about in a small time frame of, this isn't really relevant. But when you look back year over year, it's like, how are we doing from a turnover standpoint? Are we getting better? Are we getting worse? And that's a good sign of, are we hiring the right people? Are we training? Are we doing things to keep people? And it's really something we've never historically measured because we haven't quite figured out how, but I think we were thinking from too small of a time frame. So that was one of my takeaways, that we need to start measuring that, because actually I think it's something we could celebrate, that we do a good job with that. So you said some other good things in there. I was trying to find my notes, but you had a really interesting tool for assessing somebody's mechanical ability. I think it was the Bennett mechanical
aptitude test.
Yeah. That was pretty interesting to you were just so smug over there.
No, it's just every time you look at your book, you start
talking
the microphone, and I just shake my head because I know Beeves is going to be like, God, can you get this guy to just talk into the microphone?
We put headphones in his ears so that it would try to help trigger.
Another thing you talked about was just with
you're giving Chad a lesson on what he was talking about.
Well, no, I'm sharing it with our audience because they weren't all in his class, which was, again, actually pretty valuable. What's interesting? You're never up on stage teaching a class.
He was last year. What's funny?
A class that he didn't know what he was talking about.
You'll enjoy this, Lars. The panel that was in front of my session, there was a guy from New York and a guy from England, London.
Okay.
So they had a guy up there speaking proper English, and then me.
Yeah.
I got to follow that.
Woof.
He talked about his
dying.
draw.
draw.
And I didn't know if he was talking about his speech or what he hits on the golf course. And
Yeah.
it was so
Did you have more magic in that little book for us?
I was
Tony?
trying to, and
And now you're yelling into the microphone.
anyways, another thing you said that was impactful is looking at the cost of onboarding. You talked about it being 75 to 125% of your
Annual
time.
salary.
And it made me think about the amount of effort we put into onboarding, right?
Yep.
The training.
Yep.
I think about it more as the lost opportunity, like, oh, I don't have this person doing this role, and that's costly. But I forget about the cost of all of a sudden when someone new starts, you have all these new things you have to do, and that takes someone's time, and that is costly.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to relook at what we feel that costs us and
Well, it's
kind
also
of pair that with the employee turnover to talk about what we're saving by having a low turnover or high turnover, what it's costing us. So
well, it also frustrates, especially if you have a training director or a HR person. It's like, I just spent a week onboarding this person and then they're gone.
Right.
Like, ugh.
Although I would also add to that, don't let that make you hold on to bad
it should
people
help
for
you
longer. What you really should take out of that is spend more time making sure you have the right person up front.
Yeah.
Well, and onboarding is really a 6 to 9 month process, or even longer, right? For us, we're training people, so I think it even more magnifies the importance of making that decision quickly. If you do hire somebody and you realize in the first couple of weeks that they're not a good fit, you need to move quickly on that, because otherwise you're going to waste more money training.
Yeah, well, I think to Lars' point, like getting back to spending more time on the actually interview preparation process, trying to vet people better before you bring them in is really the investment that is going to see the biggest result. Because I think the old adage, hire slow, fire fast.
Sure.
And it's very easy, especially when we get into a situation where we just need help. We hire fast and fire slow.
And the fatigue of, we just hired someone, then you do make a mistake, and you're like, the number one reason to keep them on is because I don't want to have to go through this again.
Correct, yeah.
And that's problematic. I've got a far out. This is a wing and a prayer idea here, but I came up with it because we were talking about the AI agent, and it's a new drinking game at this conference. Every time you hear the word AI, it's put a gun in your mouth.
Wow,
that's
turned quickly.
Yeah, it's. But I think there is probably a little bit of validity to AI. I just don't know if I'm there yet. However, they were talking about Eva and how, again, just that AI agent. And if you use a camera and teach it to identify a person or a thing or an object, an ambulance, if you see an ambulance, open a gate, those kind of things. Well, I wonder if I can't take that into an auditing tool for my business. As far as a site auditing tool, if I can get a body cam type, use the VMS, use Eva to teach it to recognize a door closer, to recognize an exit device, to recognize the opening. Maybe someday it can take measurements, do all that right from that platform and build a takeoff of what we've seen. I don't think we're there right now, but I'm very curious to see, using these kind of technologies, if it can recognize a face, surely it can recognize an exit device.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if it can, how do we take that and then automate, and literally as we're walking around looking at doors and you can talk to the agent, you might be able to build quotes for the customer as they go, and you can automate that whole process.
Yeah.
So.
I don't want to go too far off the rails with it, but I'm interested in how you could leverage a platform like Meta with their glasses.
Yeah.
for effectively. I mean, I get what you're saying from a takeoff perspective. I'm wondering how you could leverage it from a training perspective.
Well, also just a support.
Yeah,
and we were talking about that as well. My Eagle Eye rep has the Meta glasses.
Yeah,
name's Chris, and I was like, "What's going on?
Yeah,
your glasses, they're dumb. What is it? What's happening there?" And I called him out immediately.
He just walks around with them?
They're Ray-Bans. Yeah, he wears glasses. And they're Ray-Bans that have the lights on them, and they transition and things. But just picture that you have a younger tech, or you have anyone standing at the door, they're having a problem,
And it should prompt you.
and
Yeah.
you can have a technical expert sitting somewhere that, okay, they see what I see, and you can actually, it's like it's augmented reality, but it's not. It's real life.
Correct.
Right.
I was just thinking about it from a looking at an opening and going, hey, hey Meta, this door is not closing correctly. What are the things I should look at?
Yeah.
And it just
just using the AI to teach you on site. Yeah.
It seems like you would be able to build a tool that would give you like resource data.
Like that's not that big a lift. Like that's not out of the question here.
Yeah.
Right.
That's totally off base, but it's a very interesting idea. Okay, so another a big takeaway. I said in a class, I think we all three sat in a class yesterday around going after leads.
Mm-hmm.
I think the takeaway I had from that, and the thing I want to figure out how to do in our business is I think we underutilize proactively reaching out to customers, cold call, whatever you want to classify it as, because it's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a conversation with that presenter yesterday evening for a few moments, and there's an art to it, and there's also and I think the big thing that clicked with me is finding the right person.
Yes.
So referencing to our podcast episode from last week, the who not how, finding the who that would just like, and he mentioned this. So pro tip, he said that one of the things that they found with individuals that do really well with cold calling are athletes.
Mm.
They typically have a good jovial demeanor. They are good with meeting new people all the time, interacting. They're driven to find a specific goal, and they don't necessarily get distraught whenever they have hear a no.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a driver for them. So I honestly thought, like, and then tying to a reference, and I'm sorry to get too deep in this, but a culture index pattern like a daredevil would probably do well in that situation. An athlete that's a daredevil that effectively doesn't get too stuck on being turned down and will go back after it.
I know that type.
Yeah. What do you think, Lars? Would you enjoy cold calling?
Would I? No. Would no.
No.
Comma. I don't think I hear no all the time from ideas, and it doesn't deter me.
Correct.
You just have to keep reframing until you find
that's an interesting takeaway. You take so long to get to your point. Lose me.
If anyone also has a pharmacy and could get Tony some ADHD medicine, it would help us all very much so. Sorry, Tony, you asked me a question, but you wanted to jump in and start talking.
Well, you answered the question.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Go ahead, continue. Where were you going?
I think we're good. I'm pins and needles now, waiting for the.
This isn't that good.
He's not deterred.
Shocking.
Yes.
I was having a conversation last week when I was getting my haircut, and the lady's boyfriend was a cold caller for door knocking for windows.
Oh.
And she was talking about that exact same thing, how he just doesn't mind rejection, and he just continues to go to door, and like there, you could tell from talking to her that her boyfriend had a certain personality that thrived in that environment, and it made me think about the same thing of like, gosh, if we do want to do this, it's really a different who.
Yeah.
So
I can only imagine the experience of Tony sitting down in your chair to get a haircut and basically being held hostage by him for 30 minutes.
You have witnessed that.
Just questions on questions on questions.
Believe it or not, I'm not too curious about what the person cutting my hair is doing. So.
You found out what their boyfriend does for work.
No, she brought that. She was very social, so she brought that up.
Lars' feelings got hurt. He typically doesn't.
I am trying to go through my mind that was what was so important to jump in. Well, I got to say this right now. Like, your brain just blows my mind Okay.
Anyways, another takeaway I had is talking to people, the different business models everybody has. We've talked about this, I think, before, but every business here does things a little bit differently. I talked to somebody the other day that all they do is sell Eagle Eye, only Eagle Eye. That's it. Talked to another person that all they do is install.
Yeah.
They don't sell anything. They're literally a contractor, which made me think about, I think there's a way as a business we can kind of leverage that a bit more, specifically the install piece.
Yeah.
Of this person we were talking to, they specialize in install, and they've built an app around training to do install, and they've really leaned into what they do really well. And it's something that I think we as a business can try to do better at is working with other contractors that specialize in certain areas, to let us focus on what we are good at and what we specialize in. I think that's a pretty interesting thing, just how this conference is so much different than other conferences we go to where most business models are pretty similar. We all sell the same products at this conference, but we sell them in far different ways and far different use cases. And it's really eye-opening to see the different ways that people are going to market and learning from that. So
yeah, one of the most impactful conversations I had yesterday was with two guys sitting in the middle of the lobby during a break, and it reinforced the fact of getting very focused, eliminating the distractions. We, as a service company, are too easily saying yes to additional services and additional products and diluting our core. And through that conversation, it reinforced when we get back, we've got to emphatically jump back into getting focused, cutting out the noise. These are the things that we want to do really, really well, really consistent. This is our ideal customer. We want to go after this ideal customer. We want to serve them well, find solutions that are going to benefit them well, and just be very laser focused on that. I think that in a small business, as you're growing, scarcity is always a challenge. Meaning, if we don't say yes to this, then we're not going to have work to do. And at a point, I think you have to start to trim some of that noise down and say, these are the things we found that we're good at. How do we
certainly reevaluate it?
Yeah,
consistently.
Be lasered on it.
Yeah, pretty easy to scope out. Yeah, that's true.
How do you balance that with what we were talking about earlier about the unified platform and all the services and the add-ons we can do with a customer? It's a hard thing to, you can say, I'm going to own the multifamily industry and sell them all these suite of services, or you can say, I'm going to own Eagle Eye and sell only Eagle Eye to everybody. How do you balance that?
Well, I think it's more of, these are the suite of services that we're going to offer. And these are the specific products that we are going to sell. And we are, when we make a decision to bring on another, what are we eradicating? And I think instead of continuing to fill our quill with more additional information, we need to take one in and take one out. And we're back. All right, guys.
Yeah. Yesterday, Lee Miller was on the stage, and he is, I don't know, something of multifamily. But
I'm sure he would appreciate that title.
I'm not sure he would, first of all, care, or two, be listening to this. But
never know.
Lee, sometimes Lee is, I like the fact he was direct to the point. Just, he's talking about multifamily and says, it's a lot to get into. If you're interested in multifamily, it's hard. Hardest thing to get into and understand is the cycle. It's hilarious. The reference he used is like, where you go there and install 2 or 3 floors, and then it might be a month before they get to the next one, and trying to get manpower and understand how to cost that. And that's literally what we're going through right now. That there was a something or other, but he talked about the targets if you want to get into this, because most of us are aftermarket companies, and we look, and that's simply just meaning building already exists and we're doing repairs as opposed to making a new building. So most of us are in that repair world. But he said, if you're looking at the multifamily area, how to get involved, where to make these connections, because he said there's no one more loyal than construction managers and general contractors. Once they find the people that they can count on, they stick with them. And that's very true, because I've seen, you see the same crap go into the same buildings and you wonder, why are we doing it over and over again? Because it's easy. Not best, it's just easy. Yep. And with the complexity of building a product or a building, that makes a lot of sense. That said, local construction associations, regional operation managers, technology consultants, electrical contractors, construction networking events, apartment association groups, and then electrical contractors again. That's a little, but that was
I really wanted to make sure you remembered that one.
Yeah, that was his advice on how to get into that, and that was a takeaway for me. So that'll be one of the first things I do is figure out, okay, how do I get involved in this if we're going to go down this path? So that was some good tangible advice from a guy that knows what he's doing.
Very cool. Well, gents, we have to wrap this up because we've got to get over to the morning startup, whatever it's called.
Session.
Yeah, morning session. Who is next on the docket? Is that Lars?
That would be Lars.
Lars is next on the topic for discussion for next episode. Are we going to do that here, or is that going to be a future episode?
Probably future.
All right, perfect. So Lars is going to give us a topic that we're going to be discussing for the next episode. In the meantime, while he's doing that, I do want to remind you that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're listening to this as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you're listening to it, there is typically a video accompanying version as well on our YouTube channel. Today's video may be a little bit stagnant, but typically there's video there, so you can check that out. Subscribe to that so you get notifications. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, "Wow, why am I sitting at watching a simple standard image there?" You can go to our podcast channel and subscribe, so you can get that every Thursday morning as well. So
and usually it's not a standing image. You are watching this.
Correct,
you
yeah.
Check out our other videos, and we typically have a little more animation to us.
A little more, yes. Very animated individuals. So that is what's going on, and you can find out all of that at our website, unlockedpodcast.com. We do welcome feedback. You can connect with us all on LinkedIn. All of our information is on the website. You can contact us there, email, LinkedIn, etc., and we'd love to hear from you. If you want to reach out and chat or give us some topics for future episodes.
We should have a suggestion box to make feedback easier.
Going to discuss the next topic of getting into new verticals. So specifically because, as I said, I'm relatively new to the access control and cameras area, but maybe it's multifamily, maybe it's low voltage, maybe it's automatics. What verticals have you got into? If you're going to take one out of the quill and you're going to put one back in, how do you make that decision? But I thought it'd be interesting because I know a lot of the people that are listening to this are kind of in that $3 million range, in that cap up to $3 million, and are going to be looking at that. Oh, and that's a shout out to Rob Stevens.
Yes.
I was wondering if you were going to slide that in.
It's a shout out to Rob for that topic idea. But a lot of us are trying to see what's next. What else can we do? How do we expand? So I thought maybe we could talk through just our experiences, where we're going or where we've been, what to avoid, tips and tricks, so to speak.
Sounds like a plan.
Be fun.
All right, we'll do that next time. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you always for your feedback, and we'll see you next time on the Unlocked podcast.